So, you're thinking about getting a microcamper. You've seen the Instagram reels, people boiling pasta with the fairy lights twinkling in the background. Big smile on their face, dog curled up in the corner. Looks perfect, doesn't it? They're cheap, cheerful, practical, right? Well, here's the truth. Microcampers could end up costing you more in the long run than a big van, both financially and with your sanity. Sounds ridiculous, I know, but stick around and I'll explain why later. Welcome back, and if you're new here, unlucky, you've just clicked on a channel about a tiny van. But if you enjoy watching a grown man slowly lose the will to live in the name of van life content, you might as well subscribe. This is my Caddy Maxi Microcamper, and this is exactly how thrilled I am to own it right now. Stick around though, because as much as it drives me mad, there are actually a few reasons I haven't set it on fire yet. Number 1, getting changed. Unless you're 3 foot tall and double jointed, you're not getting changed inside this very easily. You either end up half naked in a car park or stuck on your back, kicking your legs like an upturned turtle. And the moment you decide to get changed outside the van is always the moment that somebody decides to park right next to you, even though the whole car park is empty. Number 2, cooking. It's a nightmare. 1 burner, 0 workspace. Cooking anything more complicated than beans feels like you're competing in some twisted episode of Ready Steady Cook, except for your opponent is gravity. Yeah, you can technically cook in a microcamper, but you'd be hunched over a little camping stove, spilling noodles into your sleeping bag. And let's not forget the smell. Curry one night, fish the next. Congratulations, your duvet now smells like a student kitchen. Washing up, it's almost impossible. That tiny sink looks cute in photos, but in reality, you can't even wash a frying pan in it. Plus, limited water means you just smear grease around and pretend that it's clean. Eventually, you'll just stop, stare at the mess, sigh, and realise that kitchen roll counts as washing up. And let's not beat around the bush. Washing up in a microcamper is less housework and more performance art. One wrong move and you've spilled dishwater all over your bedding again. So, storage. Instagram makes them look like a luxury hotel room on wheels. In reality, if I want to get to something, I have to physically get out of the van, which means getting to simple things like the kettle to make a cup of tea, you really don't want to be doing first thing in the morning. And you always think, this time I'll be clever. I'll pack everything in order. It doesn't matter. After one small trip, your whole van looks like a car boot fair that's been ambushed. Toilets, or should I say lack thereof. Every trip basically becomes a tour of all the 24-hour McDonald's in a local area. Or you develop an encyclopedia knowledge of every petrol station loo. And if you're wild camping, congratulations, every tree and bush just became your toilet. And the real sad part, instead of enjoying the beauty and the tranquility of being in the middle of nowhere, you pitch up next to 100 other vans on a campsite, just so you can use a shower. On the plus side, you'll make loads of new friends when you queue for the shower block. Nothing bonds people quite like flip-flops and a soggy towel. And them new friends you make, they always want to tell you their full life story, when really you're just standing there, praying that the hot water doesn't run out. 2 people and a dog. Sounds romantic, doesn't it? But in reality, you're both squashed like sardines while the dog's sprawled out like he owns the place. But in this instance, he does. So, if you like arguing, sweating, and being covered in dog hair, you'll absolutely love this. Claustrophobia. You don't realise how small a microcamper is until you shut the door. Then it's like, oh yeah, less van life and more budget coffin with cup holders. Sure, you can make it look cosy with fairy lights, but the truth is, it's a metal box with curtains. And let's not forget meal times. Nothing says romantic getaway like being crammed in a microcamper, trying to eat your dinner, while your dog's tail is sweeping half your plate clean. And the best bit? Every time you drop something off of the bed, you have to get out of the van to pick it up, because there's just no room in here to bend down, look under the van, and find whatever it is you've dropped. And finally, number 8, Ray. It's chucking it down outside. You can't stand up, you can't stretch, you can't even sit up properly without hitting your head. So, what do? Will you leave the van? Cafes, pubs, shops, basically anywhere with a roof and chairs. And this is why microcampers can end up costing you more than big vans in the long run, because you spend half your trip paying to be anywhere except for the van you built to save money. And yes, you will try and convince yourself, at first, that it's cosy in here. But believe me, by day 3, it's no longer cosy. It's effectively just cabin fever with the steering wheel. Now look, it's not all doom and gloom. Microcampers do have their place in the campervan world. They're perfect for a night away with just you, or maybe you and a dog. It's not luxury, but it's freedom in a box. You finish work, you throw a sleeping bag in the back, and boom, instant weekend away. And parking? A dream. Height barriers that stop motorhomes dead? Not a problem. Multi-storey car parks? Completed it, mate. Supermarket spaces? You actually fit in. While the big van guys are circling around like vultures, you're already inside buying snacks. Then there's fuel. You don't need a second mortgage every time you fill the tank. And on a long trip, you'll save enough money to, well, probably buy a few more overpriced lattes when it rains. Plus, they're a great conversation starter. People will forever ask you, how on earth do you live in there? Well, the short answer is, you don't. You just try and survive. Stealth is another big one. With a big van, everybody knows what you're doing. With a microcamper, it kind of just looks like you've fallen asleep in your van after a long shift. Nobody bothers you, nobody cares. It's the ultimate disguise. And yes, they're cheaper to buy and build. You don't need 20 grand and 6 months off work to build one. Just a couple of £100 and a trip to IKEA. Oh, and of course, some questionable DIY skills. You're away. Okay, so maybe it looks like a student bed sit on wheels, but it's your student bed sit on wheels. And there's something people don't really mention. Microcampers force you to be minimalistic. You can't pack 10 pairs of socks, a projector, and a pizza oven, which I guess in a way is quite freeing. It strips things back to the basics: eating, sleeping, and moving, which, funnily enough, is exactly what Vanlife started as. So yeah, they're not all bad. They do have their place. So there you have it, microcampers. Teaching you patience, minimalism, and how to brush your teeth in the middle of a car park without making eye contact with strangers. They'll train you in the ancient art of unpacking your entire life just to get to a spoon. They'll test your relationship, your flexibility, and your bladder. And they'll remind you every single day that cafes were invented for people just like us. But they're cheap, stealthy, and they fit underneath a barrier. So, the big question, should you buy a microcamper? I don't know, it might just be the best worst idea you've ever had.